Hi everybody, welcome back. Hi everybody, welcome back to Sharon from Vivid Days. On today's video, it's going to be a tutorial and we're going to go for a tranquil piece, and we're going back to the ocean. So we're going to keep the ocean itself fairly simple, but the hero is hopefully going to be a turtle. So it's going to be a mixed media. So we'll do the base with resin. Or should I say we're going to do an acrylic base to blank out some wordings you'll see soon with the board I'm going to be using. Then we're going to apply resin for the ocean, but it's going to be underwater, so there's not going to be any waves or anything like that. And then I'll paint my turtle in there, and then we'll come and we'll put some resin over the top of it. It's to go with a series of 3 that I've got for a certain section of my home, and I bought 3 picture frames especially for it. One was done many months ago. It's the one where I did the ocean lapping onto the white stones. And this one's going to be a sea turtle, and then the other one's going to be a gentle organic ocean somewhere where it's warm in my mind. Anyway, I hope that you can find value in this. Remember, thumbs up, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell if you want to know more of when my future videos. Yeah, if you hit that notification bell, you'll be made aware of when my new videos are out. Also, if you want to become a member and get some extra perks and get access to material additional to what you're already seeing on here, thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with me. I hope that you're going to find value in this step-by-step tutorial, and remember to come back and visit me. But throughout the video there'll be a mixture of commentary and music, and hopefully I've got a balance for everybody. All right, see you on the next video. Bye. So today we are going to do a tutorial, and I am going to show you how to create a ocean inspired simple piece with a turtle swimming in the ocean. Took me a while to get that right in my brain. So I like to upcycle frames. So this comes from a retail store called The Range. I love this as well. It's called Ways to Love. Listen without interrupting, speech without accusing, give without sparing, answer without arguing, share without pretending, enjoy without complaint, trust without wavering, forgive without punishing, promise without forgetting, and honour without fail. But I'm going to upcycle this. So it's from a furniture store, and you can get some really good bargains in there. And this is a really nice frame, and it's a series of 3 I've got. I've got one already where it's the waves crashing onto the white rocks. Now I'm going to do a turtle one, and then I'll use the other one for another ocean inspired one. And I am going to just unpack it. I'm going to have to blank this out white, and then we'll come in with a acrylic blue base. That's just to help with a little bit of depth. You don't have to do that. I do that because you don't want this writing coming through. So we will make sure the board's level. We'll put some masking tape all around the bottom to protect it. We'll blank out the wording with the acrylic paint. We'll let it dry, and then we'll come and we'll add 300 ml worth of resin, and I'm going to mix it between a darker blue and a lighter blue just to make it look like there's a little bit of depth there. I'm not too sure whether I want to do 1 or 2 layers. I think it's just going to be 1 layer, paint the turtle on, and then come in and add another layer on top of it. And then that should be that piece done. I want it quite restrained for me. Anyway, let's go on this journey, and I will talk as I see fit to show you stages. Other than that, I'm just going to fast forward the obvious bits, which is the masking of this area. All right, let's get on with this project. Okay, I have given this a second layer with acrylic. I've got a lot around my frame, so I'm going to have to clean that up once this side dries. What I've tried to do is, because when I did the first coat, I did it really rough, and I've done this one quite rough. But what I've tried to do is, where I'm going to put my turtle swimming, I want to create depth. So I've done that by putting the ultramarine in the middle and then blending it up into this cyan opaque, and then blending down into this turquoise. And what you get then is, hopefully, when I put my layer of resin over the top of it, which will be the turquoise, and it'll be quite transparent, you'll still see this coming through, and you'll get hopefully a sense of depth by this, and a sense of movement by the shadows. And up here I've just added a very tiny little bit of white and blended it through into this colour here. And hopefully you get the sense already that you're under the ocean. So I just need this to dry, and then we are going to add, I'm contemplating, do I add my turtle once this is dried on one? I think I will actually, because I think I'm going to have two. And I want one further back than the other, so I'm thinking out loud. So I might let this dry and then do a turtle here, a little bit further away, put my layer of resin on, and put another one here, and then the third coat of resin over the top. So I might even do a tiny little one in the background. But this is me just talking reality with you as I go through it. But I really do love the sense of movement in that ocean, and I connect with it as being underwater. What do you do? Anyway, let's come back when this is cured, or should I say dried. I've speeded this video up for your time. I think it's times 500. But if you do feel that you want to see this in real time and you want to do a paint along with me, let me know in the comments and I will happily put that together for you. I suppose the first thing you need to do is don't be afraid to put paint to your board, because the worst that can happen if you really didn't like it is wipe it off and repaint in your colours. The hardest thing is starting, but once you start to get a feel for, do you like it in your composition? Is the size right? And what feeling do you want from this? Later in the video I will show you the colours I'm working with. It's very few colours. I'm starting with a very light yellow because I know that within a turtle there is those tones of yellow that come through where there's the breaks in the pattern. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent there. But I will share with you the colours I'm using. So let's go through this and let me share you what's going through my mind at this stage. So I was just trying to work on the size of my turtle, and I'm using the Craft for All acrylics and starting to bring in a few tones. Now I quite like the fact that it was quite transparent to start with, because then if you did need to block it back out it wasn't going to be too much of an issue. And in my mind I kept having to tell myself this doesn't have to be picture perfect. I mean, if I wanted it picture perfect I could print one off with my Cricut Joy, and you know, if that makes you feel more comfortable, do that. There's nothing wrong with that. I do have a reference photo to the left and I just keep looking at it and seeing where I am, and at this point I realised that his neck was a little bit too thin, and I really wish if I could go back in time I would have probably created this one a little bit smaller so he looks further away. But I did bond with this one and I fell in love with him, and I quite like the way when I get towards the end he pops and he just looks like he's floating away. I mean, it probably would look quite striking if you did this and just had a single turtle. I think that would be eye-catching as well. And all I'm going is back and forwards, working with the shapes, working with the different colours, and trying not to focus on the fact that I'm drawing a turtle, but just focus on the shapes I was seeing. Focus on the colours and try to blend them in, and then if you just start to focus on shapes and colours, before you know it you've painted a turtle. And it doesn't have to be picture perfect. We're going to put a layer of resin over the top of it, so some of those sins are going to be added. Now if you were going to be painting this in acrylics or oils and just leave it at that with no resin, you bring through your tones of blues or greens, but because I know I was putting my resin over there I didn't bother with that. And also I didn't want this one to be as popping as the first one, and you'll see what I mean as we add the second one. But I'm going to leave you to a little bit of music now. That's roughly what's going through my head. I had some music playing that I enjoyed in the background and I was just focusing
one shape at a time, and yeah, and just trying to enjoy the process. So I hope you I hope you enjoy seeing this. But I just want to say a shout out to all my members. You are helping me keep sharing my content. Thank you so much for taking the leap of faith, and for everybody who's supporters of my channel that continue to like, subscribe and share. That is also an incredible support to me, and I am approaching 50,000 subscribers, which is something I never thought would have happened in my wildest dreams, and I'm eternally grateful for everybody for that. But I will jump off my soapbox now, and I will put Sharon's dodgy FM for you for a little while. Speak soon.
Okay, we are going to move on to the first coat of resin, and so far the only colours I've used other than the blue backgrounds are these. I'm using the Crass for All acrylics, and I've got burnt sienna, raw umber, sangria red, black, gold ochre, burnt umber, titanium white, and a tiny little bit of crimson red. But that is all so far, and I've just really worked backwards and forwards until I got my turtles that I'm happy. And I had to keep reminding myself, Sharon, don't get too carried away, because there's going to be a layer of resin, 2 layers of resin basically, so these are going to be dulled down. That one should almost disappear, and I just wanted to see it in the distance. This one obviously is a lot closer. He is so cute, but he is going to get a layer of my ocean colour over the top of it. And then I'm going to come back, and you can see where I painted it and I didn't like it and I've etched it out, but hopefully when the resin's on there it'll cover it out, because from this angle not so bad. It took a while. I just kept wanting to do the detail. I kept saying, no Sharon, it is going to be a silhouette really in the background. But anyway, so the idea being 1 layer of resin, and then I can come and paint a closer up one here, and then do another layer of resin. But I really did just enjoy it solitary with that one single turtle there, so I might come back and do that. But I'm going to stick with it. I want a third cheeky one looking in just here, and yeah, let's see how we go. I mean, ooh, I hope I don't ruin it. Anyway, I'll show you the next stage. Okay, we are at the stage where I'm going to apply my first coat of resin. I've made sure my board is level, very, very important. I've mixed up just under 300 ml. I went to the measurement, which is 2:1 there, and I've just mixed it so there's bubbles, but they are disappearing pretty quick, so I'm just going to wait a little bit for that, and I'm going to continue exploring clear cast resin. So this one is the shallow pour. I've run out of the doming one, which I probably would have used for this, but because this is going to be within this board, it's going to be okay if it's very thin. And we're just going to come in and add the Rebel glitter. That's going to give a nice little sparkle throughout that resin green, so it should go nicely. And then we will put in the Resin pigment turquoise, and we're going to have it transparent. Well, it is transparent, but we're going to make sure it is quite transparent, not too much dye added, because we are going to be doing 2 layers and these are going to start to get lost. Oh, we blurred a little bit, but I think it's going to add a little bit more to that depth in that water. And then we wait for 24 hours, and then we wait for this cutie to appear at the edge. Anyway, that's what I'm about to do.
At this part of my project, I'm happy with how it's coming together. That glitter is really sparkling in that turquoise colour. The camera, unfortunately, at this angle is not picking it up. It is picking up the light that I use to light up my room. So for the people that irritates, apologies, it can't be helped. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm trying to give some light to the project area so you can see it. And resin is highly reflective. Now, noticing that I'm evolving as an artist with my brush strokes and everything like that, I'm learning that rustic is working for me, and it's not about getting it all smooth and picture perfect. And what I'm finding is by building up your piece over multiple layers, different brush strokes, it all adds value and helps you do the dance with your acrylic paints until you find that place where you are happy. Now, the colours I'm working with are the same colours that I worked for my turtle to the right, but I'm now introducing a few yellows, mainly because I just want it to look like it's nearer the front, and because it's angled slightly different, you're seeing these colour come through. I'm still not bringing through the tones and the greens because, as I say, we'll put another layer of resin over it and that will bring that through. And I'm just slowly working on my composition, working on how I want it to look and feel, checking my proportions are right, trying to add a little bit of cheekiness to his character. And once I'd worked on his shell and I could see that starting to come together, it was then time to bring his face and make him pop a little bit. Now, there is a little bit of to-ing and fro-ing until I find a place where I'm happy. This is only the second piece I've ever created that has involved turtles, so I'm learning as I go with that. And I don't want to go for realism. As I said before, you may as well stick a photo there if that's what you want. I just want to bring some personality through, some feeling of tranquility, that we've stumbled across their little private area and that they're stopping and being curious and looking at us. So I'm in my head, even though I've got a reference photo, I'm adapting it a little bit to my scene, and I'm trying to think about where would the light be. And also, turtles, if you've studied and looked at their photos, because they live for lots and lots and lots of years, there's a lot of imperfections on the skins, or they look like they're weathered, and there's different spots and tones. And I'm just working on that until I'm happy. And I really love the end piece. I will come back and do a little bit of commentary a little bit later, but I'm going to let you relax and watch me doing the dance with my turtle until I'm happy. And you can see that it's an organic process. It evolves. I keep changing it. The worst that can happen is I have to paint over an area. And but overall, I'm very, very happy. I think potentially what I might do next time is when I'm applying my layer of resin, not add as much pigment, because you'll see when I get to the stage where I'm adding my pigment, it's quite transparent, but I go back in after I've stopped recording and add a few more pigments directly to the resin and blend it in, and it's gone quite a more vibrant colour, and you can still see my turtle. I still enjoy it, but I quite like the fact that it was so clear just before I added it. Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm talking about your future. You're going to see that now, but I'd love your thoughts, and I'm going to sit and wait on it for a couple of weeks, maybe months, and if I really still feel like, hey, I want him to pop a bit more, I'll just re-add him again and repaint him on the layer and go back. So no point stressing. You can always fix up the things that you don't enjoy or the things that bother you, but I've learnt the value of waiting, because sometimes you might not like a piece and you might do something in the moment, and then when you look back in a photo you think, no, I actually really liked it. So anyway, just sharing my thoughts, but I'll pop some more music on. So Sharon's Dodgy FM is about to go back on there. Oh, he looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle there, doesn't it? But it does come back together, and I'm incredibly proud of this piece. And if you have stayed with me for the last 26 minutes, thank you so much. We're approaching the end-ish, and you'll start to see what was in my mind coming out onto canvas. All right, I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Mixed up the clear cast, and this one is the last of the shallow pour, and that's a 2-to-1 part resin. I mixed just shy of it's 2-to-1, so it's just shy of 300 mils there, and I've gone for a very light touch of the transparent turquoise from Resin, so you get that very nice ocean colour. I don't know if you're picking it up, but I've gone lighter than I did the one before because I just want it to have that nice little bit of green going over his lordship there. And inside there is the Rebel Glitter Ignition dust, so you should see that sparkle. Hopefully most of that will stay under the resin, but do you know what, on this piece I'm going to try and see if I can leave some purposeful bubbles in the resin to add to the water feature. I don't want it at the top so you get dimples in the top. We'll see how we go, but if there is a few bubbles in there, I'll actually celebrate. Anyway, we are just going to pour it on and see how we go, and then we'll let it rest, and we'll see how that cures tomorrow and whether we need to do a flush coat. But let's do this. So it's not a sunny day today, so you are not going to get to see, you can see me in the painting, hello, but you're not going to get to see the glitter, but I'll ignite that upstairs. But at least you get to see the turtle and what he looks like with that blue all over him. So in the daylight and natural light, he's actually still quite visible. In my art room where it's a little bit darker, the blue look more intense. So I'm definitely going to position him in my house somewhere where the rocking chairs going backwards and forwards. You're still not going to get to see that glitter. I'll have to do that upstairs. But absolutely love the tranquility of this piece, and I feel like we've walked into their little bit of private space and he's having a little stare into our world. But I'll take you upstairs for the final bit where you get to see that glitter, hopefully, fingers crossed. So there is high reflection in here. In this, I've taken you back in dust, so it looks a lot deeper blue than it is when it's near the window in natural light. It has got the most beautiful sparkle all the way through, so you got that glitter. So different lights, you'll see it, but when you're looking at it front on, it's not very obvious. So it's just going to be interesting. It's going to glisten as the light changes around you, or depending on where it is in the window. And I love that there's a little bit on there and the turtles, but overall very happy with the first one of this type. Would love to know your thoughts, but remember, thumbs up, subscribe, share, comments always welcome. Remember to come back and see me, and if you are inspired by my work, tag me in it so I can have a look what you have created. I am so interested in that. Oh, hello Sharon, goodbye. But yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.